It's time for a word from Calhoone County.
Hey there, Cousin Heck Calhoun here with another Charlie story. Whew, how you been? Ain't seen you in a while. Somebody even say ain't seen you coon's age. But some people might take that the wrong way, I don't know. Anyhow, old Charlie, he has some bad luck, that feller does, I mean to tell you. He went to, he was having a hectic evening and thought he'd run on up there to 7-Eleven, get himself a coffee or a hot tea or something. He got to where he drinks that hot tea now, I don't know. Anyhow, one of them late night runs up there and he pulls on up in there and goes in and talks to that Pakistani fella in there a little while, and they almost need an interpreter to communicate back and forth. But anyhow, he was up there and he noticed that when he was driving over, he was smelling something a little funny, and he looked out and there seemed to be a little glow under the hood of his truck. So he went out there and popped the hood and pulled the hood up, and there was a little fire under there. So just real quick, he doused it with his tea, and it was going a little bit still. And he went back in and asked the fellow if he had some water or something. So he just gave him a couple glasses of water. He threw them on there, and it put the electrical fire out. And he looked it over and looked like it was all put out and everything. And he left the hood open. He turned the engine over, and the truck started. So he wasn't all upset about it. He figured he'd just have his grandson look at it when he got home, and his grandson would look at it in the morning. He was a mechanic, and he'd be able to run down whatever electrical problem or short that was and probably fix it up. So he pushed the hood on down there and went and got another tea. And of course Charlie didn't realize that while he had been putting that out, there was some other customers there, and a concerned citizen had called in a report of a vehicle fire at the local 7-Eleven, unbeknownst to Charlie. And also unbeknownst to Charlie, this was a slow night for the local firehouses, and they were bored, so they didn't have nothing to do. They didn't know how bad this or how involved everything would be with this vehicle fire. So next thing Charlie knows, he hears all these sirens blowing, and it seems like about 3 battalions of fire trucks are converging on his location. Sirens are blaring. Just all kinds of testosterone, adrenaline just flowing everywhere. And they pull up in there and leap out and in full firefighting outfits. And say, "Where's the fire? Where's the fire?" Charlie says, "It was just in my truck. We put it out. It was just a little thing, little electrical fire. It wasn't nothing to worry about." They said, "Well, we better check it out." I said, "Nah, we put it out. You don't need to fool with that. Don't worry about it." Just about that time, one of the fellows said, "I think I smell smoke." Another one says, "I think I see a little wisp of smoke coming out from around the corner of that hood." Charlie knew there wasn't, or maybe there was. I don't know. But at any rate, Charlie said, "Look, let me just pop the hood and you can take a look." Okay. So he reaches in there under the dash, pulls the lever. Unfortunately, it won't release the hood. Evidently, the fire had damaged the little cable a little bit, and it wasn't releasing. Never fear. The firefighters are here. Well, when that hood would not release, Charlie said he never saw so many fire axes and pry bars and the jaws of life getting taken out of fire trucks so quickly before in his life. And they converged on that truck. That poor truck never had a chance. Between the holes being chopped in the hood, the pry bars trying to pry up the edge of that hood, the jaws of life spread and everything open, the hood and left front fender of that truck was totally unrecognizable. And add on top of that the contents of the dozen or so fire extinguishers that was deposited in the engine compartment left Charlie with not just a little repair job on his truck that he would get his grandson to fix tomorrow, wrap a couple of wires, but they left him with about 2.5 tons of environmentally hazardous scrap metal ready for the junkyard. They totally just ruined the whole thing. There was nothing left that was worth fixing. The hood was bent up like that, they said. The front fender was marshed on down. The windshield was broke. And like I say, all that, who knows what was in them fire extinguishers on the side of it. So here's Charlie he's got no truck. He's got no way to get home. Sitting there in the middle of the night. He's got to pay to have it hauled away. The next day he had left a message on my answering machine. We left it on there for months. It was funny. I wish I still had it on there. I'd play it for you on the tape. But poor old Charlie. If they had just not shown up, if somebody hadn't called, he probably would have drove the thing home. His grandson would have found whatever electrical trouble was, wrapped them wires again with some electrical tape, and Charlie would have been using the thing for months to come. But no, he's slightly overly stimulated young firefighters. Had to save Charlie from the imminent death and chop his truck to smithereens. It's a shame. It's a shame. But that's what happens to Charlie. That's just the kind of thing that happens to Charlie all the time. He keeps a good attitude about it, though. He laughed about it when he left a message. And we'll catch you next time for another story. We'll see you.